Hi, guys. Welcome to my podcast. I have a very special guest here today, my partner, Drew Miller, and I'm excited to talk with him about what he's doing now and teaching you guys more about what he has to say. So, Drew, tell me what you do.
So I am a behavior technician. I work at an ABA clinic and applied behavioral analysis clinic, and I work with autistic children. Um, we help our clients develop skills to interact in the world, and we cover all kinds of different topics, everything from classroom topics like writing and math, all the way to some behavioral and social skills like interacting with other people and exchanging pleasantries and um, just all kinds of different stuff. Um, One of the really big things we do is we work on teaching our clients um, functional adaptive behaviors. A lot of them have a hard time communicating for whatever reason. Um, and Oftentimes they've found that the only way to get what they want is to have a tantrum. And we work on that. We work with them to use other ways of communicating that are, like I said, functional or adaptive, that are going to work for them out in the real world. So it's really, really cool. And it's really awesome to see the kind of progress that our clients can make, sometimes really quickly, sometimes very slowly,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes quickly.
Okay.
And it's really cool to see them gain new skills and use them automatically or use them without being prompted. Uh, it's very cool.
Now, before you did this, you were a band director for 10 years. Um, How is it similar to teaching and how is it different?
So the biggest difference, and the one that's been good for me personally, is the difference of size or volume. As a teacher, you're working with a lot of students at one time, whereas as a behavior technician, I'm typically working with one student at a time, one client at a time. So that's huge. Another difference is the setup of how the I'll just generally call it lesson planning goes. As a teacher, you're directly personally responsible for the vast majority of your lesson planning, whereas with a behavior technician, I'm kind of at the bottom of the totem pole, and I have supervisors who mostly take care of that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
So I think it is in a way less stressful than teaching.
Okay.
I don't think
And
everyone would agree with me on that, but personally, that's how I feel. But
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
no, that's okay.
I just want
And
to
then
get all
you
the
ask,
questions done in like a short amount of time. So anyway, you had heard some negative things about ABA before you started. Can you expand on that? And now how has your opinion changed that you're actually in the field and doing it?
yeah, so the biggest negative comment, or the most common negative comment that was really strong, that I read online in a lot of autistic spaces, uh, is that ABA therapy is dehumanizing, and the people who feel this way feel that way because they think that we treat our clients as less than human. A lot of them compare it to training an animal. Um, and that really concerned me before I got into it. It's something I definitely had to research and learn more about before I was comfortable even applying for a position, because I had read such negative things. But now that I'm actually doing it, it couldn't be further from the truth. All of our clients are fully formed humans, and every staff member recognizes and respects that. They all have their own personal likes and dislikes, a sense of humor, all kinds of stuff. And I would agree that the training that we do, the teaching that we do is a lot more like what you would see in a classroom, especially having that experience as a teacher before, where there's back and forth between teacher and student, or technician and client, and there's immediate feedback for the students, for the clients, and know that that's really important to effective learning. And furthermore, even better than what you'd see in a classroom is we have a frequent breaks for play and bonding. We call it pairing, but time that we take to just build up that relationship with our clients, so that we can work together more effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you feel like you're making the world a better place doing this job? Is this something you would encourage other people to give a try?
I do feel like I'm making the world a better place on a very small scale. But at one client at a time, we're helping them learn, as I said earlier, functional skills that are going to serve them out in the real world. We're helping these children develop skills that are going to make the rest of their life smoother and uh, easier and more enjoyable, and allow them to build genuine relationships throughout their life. uh, yeah, I think it's something that I would absolutely encourage people to check out. It is definitely challenging, so I would never discount that, but I think the rewards are absolutely worth the effort that we put in.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what would you say to people who aren't familiar with autism or ABA? What do you want them to know about the community?
Um, I can only speak for myself, but one big thing that I've seen, especially since starting, as a technician, is that the phrase, autism is a spectrum, is really not like that's useful and that's good to know, but it's still too simple of an explanation, too simple of a statement. I mean, it's autistic people are like any other section of the human population. They are varied in their interests, in their likes and dislikes. um, they're varied in their skill sets too. Some students, some clients are really good at certain things and not at others, and sometimes those skills fall within the same, like broad category. Like some are good at one certain set of our school topics, and not so good at another. But just treating, like, it seems like common sense, but treating every person like an individual, and realizing that autistic people are all individuals too. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then another thing is that I said already that we're working to help these children interact with the world as it is. And I think that is absolutely wonderful. And we're going to keep fighting the good fight. But I would argue that it is worthwhile for us as a society to make our world more accommodating to neurodivergent people of all stripes, including autistic people, and offering accommodations to help all members of society participate in society.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for your time. I just have one last question for you.
Uh,
Um, you mentioned that you were at the bottom of the totem pole. Um, are you interested in pursuing the higher levels? What kind of education? Okay, first tell me about your education background, and then tell me if you're going to pursue the different levels and what kind of education they would require.
all right, so um, I don't know if I've said explicitly, but I'm pretty new to ABA. I've only been doing this for a few months now. So I am not familiar with all of the ins and outs of the totem pole, of the rungs of the ladder. But I do know ultimately our top our BCBAs, our board certified behavior analysts, and that is if I understand correctly, um, a master's level of education to get there. Um, and so, am I going to pursue more? I may. I probably will. My educational background you asked about is that I went through, as most of us do, grade school and high school, graduated. I went on to college. I tried out a few different things in college, but ultimately, what I'd wanted to do the whole time was to be a band director. And so ultimately, that's the degree I got. But because of some interesting things that happened along the way, I actually graduated with a double major, a second major in psychology as well as instrumental music. So, if I go back, I'll definitely be leaning more on the psychology half of my um, undergraduate programming.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, right now I'm very happy doing the job that I'm doing, and I can see myself doing this job for a very long time. But you know, um, I would definitely consider and would say that someday I probably will want to pursue more education and get some more qualifications and um, move on up the rungs of the ladder, if you will.
Right. And so what's what's kind of keeping you from going back to school now to get your master's? Is it money? Is it um time? Is it disinterest? What?
It's a little bit of all of the above. Money, it's very expensive to go to college. I know that there are scholarships, et cetera, out there for me, but that leads us into time. um, how much time do you have in any given day, and how much time am I willing to devote to anything? And then interest. Right now, like I said, I'm very happy with the job I'm doing, and am very happy to continue doing it for a while, so I'm not really excited about moving on just yet. I
Hmm.
would like to do this and get comfortable and get, frankly, get really good at it before I think that I want to move on and do more stuff. So it's really a little bit of all of the above why I'm not interested in why I'm not pursuing
Pursuing.
more education at this point.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, Drew, thanks so much for your time and being my test subject. I love you.
love you too, babe.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.